little bit of fun with some GURPS grappling, just the basic rules today. Zoom in here a little bit. Say we've got our evil Lich King Guardian. Maybe this is his boss. The boss, Guardian Chief Man, I don't know, whatever. These guys close in. We've got the party of 4. They're closing in to fight this guy, and they quickly realize they can't handle him. He gets, maybe he gets in between them all, and he's got multiple attacks, and he's taken them out. He's got too good of attack, so we need to bring this guy down a notch. So in this case, you could, since you outnumber the guy, you could try to grapple this bad dude. So say we got the sword and shield man. He just drops his sword and shield and grabs on to the Lich Guardian with both hands. That would inflict a -4 to all attacks while being grappled. Bring up some dice into the equation, and we quickly start getting on a 3d6 bell curve. A -4 is pretty heinous. If that guy's got a 16 to strike, or well, yeah, we'll assume he's pretty competent. A 16, that brings him down to 12 to strike. Now that would be cumulative. Say on 3d6 he's looking for a 12. Yeah, he did it. That's like a 70% chance of success. Say both of our fighters drop their weapons and full-on grapple this dude. That's a cumulative. So to do so, they would make dexterity checks between the two to try and grab. He can try and defend. But if he's suffering the -8, he's not going to be much of a risk to these guys, and they can at that point take all-out attacks on the Lich King Guardian, just making sure that they're hitting him. He suffers a -4 to his defenses as well while being pinned by these guys. Not pinned, but held, grappled. Pinning can come next. If you've got a successful grapple on your target, you can then make strength checks to attempt to take him down, at which point you can then continue to make dexterity checks to pin the target down, at which point they're on the ground and easier and in some ways harder to hit with your buddies. But it's a great way to gang up. Kind of mob tactics work great this way. Now to break free of that pin, he has to shake off on his turn. According to the rules here, breaking free, you can only do it every 10 rounds, every 10 seconds. Now, I personally have never followed that rule. I've always house ruled it to on his turn. He can take one of his maneuvers to break free, at which point it's a strength contest. So in this case, he's probably stronger than these other guys, so there's a chance that he's going to break out if he's the kind of foe that can take on 4 PCs, you know. But our perhaps one of our guys, Barbarian, may be able to match him in strength. So it becomes a real tactical call at some point. If this guy's just getting in too many attacks and mopping up, we can slow him down by grappling this way. The sad reality of this is that, however, also it works for the game master as well. If you're overwhelmed by a bunch of kobolds or goblins, and they start teaming up on you and dragging you down, it can be pretty deadly. Because if you've got 2 goblins on each character, you've got one goblin grappling and just kind of slowing you down, just dragging down your defenses and your attacks, and they just keep taking cheap shots at you while you're tied up. Now, if this guy is grappled, he is still free to attack whoever he wants. But because they're in close combat, because he's in close combat with these 2 guys, he can only try to dodge at -4 from any of these attackers. These guys are busy grappling, so they can't attack him unless they let go. And he is considered in close combat with these guys, so it does inflict a negative for ranged shots and melee strikes. I believe it's a -2 to hit this guy because they're kind of in a pile, whether they're standing up or not. they're still considered close combat. So there is that minor negative to the idea, to the tactical advantage otherwise of grappling. But overall, it is an interesting option. Sometimes, certain situations, it's the smart tactical move, perhaps. I'm always reluctant, as a player, anyways, to have my character basically drop what he's holding, because you have to get the full effectiveness you need of the -4 inflicted on the target. You have to use both hands. You can do a one-handed grapple and inflict -2, but that's not usually as worth it. Maybe if you've got a knife in one hand, it would be good. You go in, you close in tight, and you shiv away, grapple the guy, and inflict -2 on his defenses, and start shivving. He can only attack back with a close combat weapon as well. That is a nice compromise situation, perhaps. If this guy's maybe got a two-handed sword and he's just cleaving everybody to death, we get in close, we grapple, and we start shivving. Then he can't get that attack off on the close combatants. It's all give and take. I like how GURPS kind of balances the tactical decisions. It's not a sure win situation if you can grab somebody, if you can get a grapple on them. But if you can outnumber somebody, it is super great to get that grapple and inflict the -4, and then your friends can concentrate all out attacks on that guy, and get extra damage, go for vitals with the determined all-out attacks, while they forfeit their defenses since they're not as worried about the counterattacks from the grappled target. This worked to great effect in one particular combat I was playing at the table. There was a party of 6, and they got kind of ambushed by I think it was 16 orcs, and it didn't end well. The party was fairly high level. In GURPS terms, they were I think they were 200 point characters, so they were pretty tough, and the orcs were I was running them just as basically the stats of an average man, so tens and everything, basically maybe a 50 point character. So they were cleaving down orcs fairly quickly, but then the orcs, I started, as GM, started playing them a little bit smarter, and they went for a grapple on one of the damage dealers, one of the tanks of the party, and they managed to get 2 guys grappling him, kind of holding his arms. That's another thing, you can grapple by hit location too, so you can go for the sword arm and immobilize it so the character can't even attack. So that's what happened. He had 2 orcs grappling each arm, and just basically kind of stretching him out, while 2 other orcs stabbed with spears, all out attacks because they weren't getting attacked by him, while the other party members were kind of busy. There was 4 on this one tank PC, and it did not end well. He died. That was that was the last of poor what was his name, Darwin or something. I forget his name. He had an IQ of 4. That's all I remember. Poor guy got stabbed to death and teamed up on by orcs. Anyways, that's how she can roll with GURPS, grappling, and close combat. It can get ugly. Roll on.